Hello, good evening.
Hi, from me.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Yes, good to see you. Yes. Welcome to all our viewers tonight. Welcome to this debut session of CEO Talks with H. Brock Malaysia. Tonight we have with us this evening a very special guest. He's none other than Dato' Woon Yao, Chief Executive Officer of IOI Properties Group. My name is Au Fong Yi, and I am your host for tonight. Before we start, just a very brief introduction of Dato' Woon. Dato' holds a Master of Science in Engineering and a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering from the University of Texas at Austin, US. Dato' has 35 years of working experience in both the construction and property development industry. He started his career way back in 1984 in this outfit called Himali Construction Sdn Bhd as a site engineer, and then worked his way up the corporate ladder to be the executive director at SP Sathya Bhd, and then its chief operating officer. In May, in the year 2014, Dato' Woon was appointed SP Sathya's acting president and chief executive officer before he moved to join EcoWorld Development Group Bhd in 2015 as an executive director. But Dato' was also a non-independent, non-executive director of EcoWorld International Bhd from the year 2017. Dato' resigned, as we all know, from the board of both companies in February this year. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an open secret. Dato' Woon has always been pretty much a behind-the-scenes and a die-hard lieutenant of property magnate Tan Sri Lew Kee Sin. In the last 1 year, however, the market saw another side to the soft-spoken and very low profile Datuk Woon. Late last year, to be precise, the market literally set up, when news went around that Datuk Woon, then an executive director of Eco World Development Group Berhad, has been identified to take over from Datuk Sri Amrin Awaludin, the then outgoing managing director of IOI Properties. That, however, did not happen. Why? That's a story for another day. Then in February this year, Datuk moved out from both Eco World Development as well as Eco World International. And 2 months later, in mid-April, Datuk Woon emerged as the Chief Executive Officer of IOI Properties Group Berhad. Now, the question that's been, on a lot of people's mind is, why IOI Properties? What is the inside story? Most importantly and most interestingly, what is Datuk Woon's grand plan for IOI Properties? Datuk, maybe we just, kick off tonight's chit-chat, with something that's always been on people's mind. Let's just get that out of the way. You have been together with Tan Sri Liu Kee Sin, through thick and thin for more than 3 decades. Has anything changed? What has changed, Datuk? Maybe just share with us very briefly.
Okay, what has changed? And anything has changed?
Anything changed? Yeah.
Well, of course, over 3 decades, a lot of things change. Yeah, but I think what is important, whether it's changed or not, what is important is I'm still very grateful to Tan Sri Liu. Yeah, he's a good boss. He's a generous boss. He is a very inspiring leader. Yeah, I wouldn't be where I am without him, right? So I'm always grateful for that. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. But has anything changed?
Well, what has changed? Like I say,
I mean, what prompted you to leave Tan Sri Liu to move on to where you are now?
Oh, it's just an opportunity. It's not something that I planned. Not something that I engineered. So it's just that an opportunity offered to me, and whether and I would want to come to IOI, and I feel that I can contribute. I still have the passion. So for that reason, and also it's an honor, right? IOI Property has a very established property company over many years. So for that company to ask me to come in, I think that's a great honor that I cannot refuse.
Was it a very difficult decision for you, Datuk, to make the move?
Not exactly. Not exactly. Over 30 years, we have done all that we want to do together with Tan Sri Liu. So, like you say, things change. So it's for a change. I've been the constant have been too long. I had the same boss for more than 30 years. So there's some other things that I think that
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just skirt through without spending too much time on the IOI property episode. It came and went. Would you like to share some insights? I mean, what was that all about?
No, I don't think there is any value. So it's just that again it was an opportunity, and so it didn't happen, and it didn't happen. That's that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. IOI Properties Group versus the likes of Eco World. I mean, as we sit here, is a little bit, behind. Let's just talk about Eco World. In terms of culture, in terms of approach, they seem to be two very, very different animals. No doubt that, both are very strong, both are very established, in their respective way. But in terms of even the approach towards the market, I could be wrong, seem to be pretty much, opposite sides of the pole. Maybe you want to share some light? Is that the way?
Well, of course, perception, like again, what you describe is your perception. So perception, to some extent, there are some truth. Some maybe just pure perception. Yeah, I agree with you. It's a very different company, yeah, in terms of business model, in terms of the way it's run. So our eyes has always been very low profile, low key, but that doesn't mean that they're not delivering the kind of products that people want. The quality, in terms of concept, in terms of the product itself. Yeah.
Right.
So it's two different companies, in terms of perception, and also in terms of running. Now that I'm here in IOI, yeah. So it runs differently.
Yeah. What is the most attractive thing about IOI Properties to you? Before you say yes and sign on the dotted line, what was it that that one very special thing, if at all, that attracted you to IOI Properties?
Yeah, like I say, the attraction, maybe I would put it, attraction is the reason for me to decide to come, is that like I said earlier, I feel that I can contribute. I mean, in life, is you have a sense of purpose. You have a sense that you can contribute. I know from there you have a sense of achievement. I think that's more important than money or salary. So that is the attraction, if you call it attraction.
Right. So that is really interesting. That brings us to the next question. How then, do you see IOI Properties Group moving forward? I suppose what I'm asking here is, what is your vision, your goal, your aspirations for IOI Property?
Oh, thank you for asking that question. I was about to. So yes, my vision for IOI Properties, I put it very succinct. I envision IOI Properties to be a very dynamic, innovative, and a trusted brand. So in fact, we have just review our vision, the corporate vision and core values, so that we will have a direction what we want to do. So following what I said earlier about the trusted brand. So we have a session where we review our mission. I mean, if you allow me, I'd like to share with you our vision statement. So from there, it'll be very easy. Yeah.
Ken, very short marketing time, Ken.
Oh, it's not marketing time. It's sharing. Yeah.
Okay.
Sharing.
Yeah.
I'm sure your audience would like to know as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
yes.
like I said, we want to be a trusted brand. And then, of course, typically your vision statement of most company would have, it is like an aspiration, going forward in the future, what you want to be, how big you want to be, where you want to be. So typically that's your vision statement, right? And then we brainstorm for half a day. We came to the conclusion there are so many things that we need to do. So we decided to say all this in one word. Our vision statement is just trusted to start.
Trusted.
So trusted. So yeah, trusted in every sense of the word. Of course, a trusted brand, trusted by a customer, trusted by all the stakeholders. Your contractor, consultants, even including your employees, right? So trusted by the community. So we thought trusted will encompass all this we aspire to be. Yeah. So, and also I like that statement. One word says a lot. And is it almost, you can almost sense it by looking at the statement, that the audacity of this company, right? Will, we will dare to do, we will dare be different. Yeah, we will, you know, not have to like follow the convention. So we will have the confidence to do what we think we set out to do. Yeah, so basically, the statement, I like the statement. You know, it's one word, but it says a lot.
Right, right. What does it take, for IOI to be recognized as a trusted brand in a holistic manner? What does it take?
Yes. So to be trusted, of course, you must do everything right, all the time, consistently, right? So to do all the right things, of course, uh, we need to get um, the team ready. We have to build a very competent, a very committed, very motivated team, right? Then we will have to have the um, right set policy. So in fact, we are in the process of going to review our processes of policy to be in line with our vision. To build our team, we started, you know, to identify the right kind of training to be conducted for our staff. We also have a look at the organization structure. In fact, we are in the midst of uh, reorganizing our organization structure. All these to be in line for us to achieve our vision, to be trusted. Yeah. So, like I say, vision statement always usually you state how big you want to be, where you want to be. So for us, we believe when you reach the level trusted, size is not a problem. Naturally, you grow, right? So that's things that we believe that need to be done, and we already set out to do some of them to reach our vision, trusted.
Right. This word trust is really, it comes with a lot of responsibility.
Yes.
Right. Because I think, the strength of the word is immense. Right. And in a sector like property development, you would know because you've been, in this game for more than 3 decades. It is not something that it's very easy to deliver.
Yes,
right?
exactly. I agree with you. That's why we put it there up front, right? This is a way to tell the people, and it's a way to state our commitment, right? So you say it, you commit.
Right. Can I just take you back, to the days before you joined IOI? How different, are the processes that you are introducing now, compared to what it was before? Because you did mention certain buzzwords like, dynamism, innovation, right? You said about I'm moving forward being a dynamic. You see I as being a very dynamic setup, a very innovative, and of course a very trusted establishment. Was it like what? What was it like before? Because you joined in mid-April, which means you've just crossed your 6-month mark. Yes. And of course, the last 6 months have been very interesting because of the COVID pandemic. But, a lot of people also told me that, it gave them a lot of time to reflect, to review, to do a lot of hard thinking, which I'm not sure would be the case for you, but I should think so to a certain extent. So, over these 6 months, right, how drastic or how significant have the changes been at IOI Properties since, you took over the helm?
Well, okay. Like you already put earlier when you say, market perception of IOI. I think we must admit that IOI has been very low profile over the years. So uh, so this is one area we have to work on, right? And I think it's also I believe that's very crucial for any organization. So you may be doing the right thing, you may be good, but then if you don't communicate, right, you are not to be seen, and therefore the market doesn't know. Yeah. And for that reason, I gladly accepted your invitation. So so a bit of a marketing for us as well.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, we have received with actually crowdsourced, for questions for you, Dato, and a lot of questions have come in. What I'm actually doing right now is I am, just compiling and just putting them into the questions that I'm, putting forth to you. In fact, this thing about, whether or not II Properties is growing very strongly into digital, in the digital realm was one of the questions that was posed, by our viewers who actually wrote in. I suppose you have addressed that, because when you said that, you're going to, into innovation, you would mean, going into data and digital as well, correct?
Yes, yes. In fact, the company has started 4 years ago before I joined. Yeah. So we are doing the so-called digitization in terms of processes, in terms of using technology in marketing, in our managing, in terms of the sales process. We have online platform to conduct the sales process. So of course there's still room for us to continue to improve. We have started. Yeah, we believe in technology. That's the way forward.
Right. Good to know that. Good to know that. Especially, for an outfit like our I Properties Group, because you have a very wide portfolio of interest, right? From hospitality, to retail and commercial and residential, both here and overseas as well. So, good to know that our eye is heading that way. So, one more thing about your vision statement, i.e., the word trusted, before we move on to talk a little bit more about the property market sentiments. Yeah, how would you sum up a developer who is viewed by the public as somebody, a developer who is trusted, and a developer who is a very responsible one? What are the attributes you reckon, would describe such a developer?
Right. I would think that very important is that you consistently deliver your promise, right? In terms of quality, in terms of service, you care about the community, you contribute to the community building, you care about the environment. So you know, have high integrity in terms of your conduct of your business, and more importantly as well, the people that we have are of high integrity and conduct. Is a way of life, is a corporate culture that
Okay.
yeah, that drive all this. Yeah. So besides being competent to deliver and all that, yeah. So ultimately, I will sum it up as you doing all the right things all the time.
Mhm. Yeah, sure. Thank you, Dato. Just a little bit of elaboration about, what you said about doing all the right thing all the time. What about, creating value for your buyers, property buyers? Is that important to you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So that will be our brand. We recognize that in the value is in the maintenance, be it the landed property, landed community or strata title. The moment you complete is new, everything's new, everything's good. People would like to move in, very excited about it. And if it's not well maintained over time, it will deteriorate, right? In terms of the amenities, in terms of landscaping, in terms of securities. So those are very key, and we are making plans to how should I put it, to supplement or because once you hand over, right, the either is the responsibility of the local council to maintain, or is the responsibility of the managing corporation for strata title, right? So they always fall short, and we have received grievances from chasers, that maintenance not well done, although they may recognize that this is not our responsibility anymore. So that's one thing that we think we can contribute to supplement the maintenance, or we may even offer our service, yeah, to maintain the asset, the estate for our purchasers. Because I mean, at the moment there are a lot of strata title development being developed over the past 10 years. The industry is not well developed in terms of yeah, so you may have outsourced the maintenance to estate managers, but the job's not well done. Yeah, so it's our commitment to our customer to take care of that part, yeah, of the business.
Good to know that, Dato', because in this day and time, well, you probably would have known already. This is something, that is very close to the heart of HPROP Malaysia. Sustainability of, property development, and whether or not, anything that's designed and built is ultimately being done so for the sake of the buyers. In the sense that, I don't know whether you agree with us. The days of building iconic buildings with a lot of bells and whistles, and of course, those will be very, very difficult to maintain and very expensive to maintain. Those days are over because, it is no longer easy to own a property for a lot of people. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that, Dato'? I mean, do you see IOI Properties, going into a lot of, the bells and whistles kind of design? Or do you call your trusted brand a brand that is practical, a brand that is meaningful?
Well, I think our brand will not be like focused on one segment of the market. We will want to cover all segments of the market. And what goes into the product, it depends on the positioning of the product relevant to the local market. What you say was just right. A lot of people, most of the purchasers that we come across, they just want to stretch their ringgit. For that amount of ringgit, how big an area can get, right? So long as it's a decent place, amenities, you don't have to be over providing. But of course, it's good to have. If you say you can have all this, of course they want it. But then when you come to maintenance, most of our customer will prefer you give me a bigger place than with all these amenities. It's nice to have, but I just want a bigger place for my ringgit.
Yeah, nice to have, but you may not even use it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but nice to have. Yeah, absolutely. Now let's move on to what the market sentiments are like right now. Because we are in this COVID-19 pandemic situation. But in your last more than 3 decades, with this industry, you actually have seen a lot of boom and bust cycles.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I remember.
tell us what is so different. Is it anything different this time?
Yeah, because every boom and bust are different because what drives it are different factors. So the end result is different, and the time, the duration is different. I remember when I first started working, after in fact, after 1 year, after I got a job, I was retrenched. That was in 1985, 84, 85, yeah. So 85, 86 was the worst recession I've seen. I think a lot of young viewers probably doesn't understand what we're saying. It was really bad, very high unemployment rate. So that was very, I think, probably the worst time I've seen. And then it took a long time to recover. Yeah, from 1986, from 1985 to about 1986, 87 was still, very bad, low employment rate, and the property market struggling. Yeah. So then came the next recession was in 1997. Yeah, it was the Asian financial crisis.
Right.
That was also very serious. And you look at 2008, it was a global financial crisis. Yeah, each of them are different, right? So you look at the cycle is probably 10, 12 years, and now '08 is like 12 years. So probably we're in the middle of one recession, but probably this one, in my view, could be a bit longer because we have the confluence of all the negativities happening at the same time. Yeah. So that I think is something that we, of course, we hope things will turn out better, faster. Yeah, but hope remain a hope, but we have to get ourselves ready. Yeah, for the case scenario.
Right. Dato, from your experience, what exactly does the market need now for it to rebound? Okay, let's just confine ourselves to property market, because if we talk about the general economic, scenario, it's too wide. Let's just focus on property sector. In your opinion, what is the steroid that we need right now?
Yeah, of course, we cannot change the market overnight, right? But I think the market will take care of itself. But at the same time, the steroid what we need is we need some intervention. We need the help from the government in terms of policies, how to shape the industry so that it bounce back faster. Of course, the fundamentals will take longer. Yeah, but something that we can do immediately. Uh, I think maybe I should take this opportunity to share an idea. My team came up with this idea. This one probably can help also in a way the industry. In tertiary education, we have this PTPDN, where the government actually provide financial assistance to students with tertiary education. So I think we were having this idea, maybe we have something along the same line for housing industry for, let's say, first-time buyers, right? So so we can actually structure in such a way that it's going to be a very sustainable program where I think from our experience as developer, there are a lot of purchasers. They have the means. In fact, they have a job. They can pay for the installments. They had a loan, but they couldn't come with the deposits, 10, 20%, right? So they don't have savings. So in this program can come in as a bridge, the 10, 20%. But of course, we can extend it also to cover the entire financing of the properties, right? But we took up the first part first, where this program, some kind of program set up by the government, where we can assist the first-home purchaser by bridging this 10, 20%, depends on how much they need, right? So then when they sell the property, then maybe they will contribute a share of the profit proportionate to the contribution of the funding, right? So to make it sustainable on its own, right? There will be another source of assistance to the first-time home buyer. Of course, we can put in all the details for the program, where like in terms of maybe you have low interest, in terms of flexibility and repayment, structured in such a manner that there's no payment for the earlier years, and then given some time to repay. Yeah. So when they sell, when they dispose of the property, so they'll share a portion of profit. Right. So this fund will be we'll be able to take care of. Yeah, yeah. Of course, because there are a lot of things to think through, but just plant an idea so that we can start thinking about it.
Right. Interesting. But of course, the million or billion ringgit question is, do we have the kind of funds at this day and time? Yeah. Would it be something that, is it something that IOI Properties Group will take on?
Well, no, I think we are looking at the government to spearhead this. Yeah, the government can, enact legislation, for this purpose. For I think individual is difficult.
Yeah.
But this is to actually benefit the young buyers, and we help them to enter the property market early, because the earlier you enter, you lock in the cost. Right? Future, when you can come, you can always upgrade. If you are trying to save enough money to buy a property, so you'll be always perpetually chasing.
Right. Dato', I mean, when we talk about the availability of property and also the affordability of property, what is staring in our face right now is the overhang. Overhang properties, those properties that have been built, put on the market, CCC already been issued and still not sold after 9 months at least. There are actually lots of them. Of course, in recent times, there's no doubt that, in terms of supply, the supply has come down, in the last year and a half and 2 years, yes. But, a lot of overhang properties are still, in our kitty. And it's actually putting a lot of pressure. Hence, you have government, introducing this home ownership campaign, HOC, giving a lot of freebies to encourage people to buy. But still, this immense stock of 30 billion ringgit, I think, is still there. What are your thoughts on this, Dato'?
So, we don't have silver bullet. When you overeat your indigestion, that's the end result. But probably we can get help, get some medicine in the form from the government. Like I say again, to help the digestion process faster in terms of like the home ownership campaign, stamp duty waiver, and probably reduction of RBGT, and to encourage investment and encourage ownership. So that will assist the process of clearing the overhangs.
Right.
I wish I had a silver bullet.
Don't we all? Dato', what you have just said now, about the hope that the government would step in, to do a little bit more in terms of giving incentives to encourage people to buy and so on and so forth. And, maybe also reviewing the RBGT to make it a little bit more attractive for people to buy and hopefully in the process clear the overhang. But do you agree with me that, all these so-called solutions are so traditional? And truly, we are no longer living in traditional times. This is the new norm, right? So that being the case, does the market need a reset, a total reset, you reckon? Otherwise, we'll always be chasing, like what you said, and rightly so, right? In this case, it's not, chasing buying your next home or buying your first home. In our sense, it will be chasing to clear stock, clear the inventories. All these products that are sitting there being so unproductive, right? So if we continue to do things the way that we've always been done in the last decade, is there danger that, we will always be trapped and we'll never get out of this? What are your thoughts, Dato'?
That's a tough one.
So okay, maybe put it this way. If you are in a position to change the way that property development is being conducted, what would you do? Something that's really out of the box, perhaps.
Well, I what is important is also to, I mean, the developer will learn in the process. Right? So what happened the last decade, I don't think the developer will repeat the same. I mean, developer are learning. Otherwise they are no longer relevant. They may not even exist. But to help better regulate, I think again, I think the government has to come in terms of monitoring the supply and demand. We see, sometimes, um, yeah, like um, for some reason that we cannot fathom, there are so much development going on at the same time. Making so much land available for development at the same time. So build a cloud so fast, right? So I think in terms of information, the government have all the information in terms of demand, so that they will guide the developer in terms of where to supply, what type of supply, right? Rather than to regulate it. So you give the information, I think the developer will know how to behave, right? So of course, developer being you know um, a business, we take risk. We make some guess. We say some gut feeling. We use some gut feeling in our decision making, right? So sometimes we can be very wrong. So I'm not saying that the government should control exactly what the developer must do and should do, but you give them information, let them decide. If they get burned, they won't be around anymore, right? So that should be the way, and let the market regulate itself.
Okay. Okay, just to summarize that, if you allow me, and correct me if I'm wrong, what you're saying that there's a need for more up-to-date and transparent data
Yes.
to enable developers to make their own informed decision, because they have skin in the game anyway. Right?
Correct. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
make it so easy to understand.
Yeah. So, actually, as we were talking, there's a question that just came in that gentleman asking. So, in your opinion, are government policies to be blamed for this overhang?
Well, I'm not saying that. In fact, the government is over-regulating. Is 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 yes, it's not the government. I mean, all the industry player. I mean, should take responsibility. Um, you know, you have to assess the market. So you make the wrong decision, you get burned. To me, that's that for you to learn, and then hopefully you become a better developer in terms of knowing what to launch, what to product, in terms of size, quantity, where. So it's a way of learning and being better.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we also know of developers who have seemingly made the wrong decision, in the sense that they have a lot of overhang. And, these are the ones that are crying out to the government for help. So yeah. So not every developer is an IOI property, right, Dato? Okay. Dato, when we go out there and talk to people, then they will have different views of when the market will turn. And we're talking about property market specifically here. And it is very interesting how the goalposts in terms of timing actually are constantly being moved. Some would have said last year, beginning of this year, next year. Actually, I think it is very difficult to put a needle where exactly it is. But after having said that, because you have your finger on the pulse, so to say, and you are so full of experience, maybe you want to share with us your thoughts. Have we bottomed out?
I wish I had, but I will hazard a guess. But I think to make a projection anything more than 2 years, I think we're kidding ourselves. Yeah. But looking at the current scenario, like I said earlier, I think it will take longer than normal cycle for 10, 12 years, right? So it may take a bit longer. I think think we've been facing this downturn in terms of property industry, real estate industry for 5 years ago. Yeah, you cannot put a exact date, but then somewhere 4, 5, 6 years ago. Yeah. So my view is that next 1 year unlikely to turn around. Yeah. So and also having said that, it will not be going to deteriorate further. But what is being seen now, being felt now, is the pandemic, the COVID pandemic, where people don't even go out. So when there's a spike and then you don't see anybody anywhere. So that and then also the difficulty of conducting, transaction. So that has affected the market activities a bit, but this is transient. But having said all that, I think I believe in looking at the bigger picture, long term. When you look back, we have so many cycles. Every time, I think, look at Malaysian market. Every time we come up stronger. So it may take a bit longer, but eventually we come out of it. And every time we come out of it, it's getting stronger. Yeah. So that's something that we look at rather than look at today. Yeah, today we have problem. Yeah.
Dato', a discussion on market sentiments would be incomplete, if we do not talk about the prices and the pricing, So one of the many questions that have actually come in is, do you expect prices to go down, because of the current problems that we're all facing? I suppose these people are waiting to buy, so they want to hear from you. Will prices go down?
No, in my view, I think prices very difficult to go down, right? Because good time, bad time, unfortunately, prices go up. Right? Material price go up. Very strange. Even bad time, price never come down. So with all the cost plus, all kind of we call it compliance costs, piling up. There's no way we can do it any cheaper. Right? Land cost is unreasonably high. Yeah, but unless you have old land bank, historical cost is low. Otherwise, there's very little room they can maneuver in terms, unless you're talking about fire safes. Yeah? So which I think has gone to a level that is difficult to go anymore.
But after having said that, correct me if I'm wrong, Dato', because I personally have heard of these are, well, they are primary launches. I mean, they're new launches, not new, but they've been in market for a while. Seemingly, I've been told they're actually going for up to like 30% discount. Is that correct? Have you heard?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, for those new launches, because you have room to adjust in terms of adjusting the cost before the launch, right? Once you have launched, you reset the cost in terms of what goes into the product. The cost is already fixed, so there's very little room that you can bring it down. But for new launches, because the market cannot afford this kind of price range, and therefore you plan for it. So your initial plan maybe I want to sell X ringgit per square foot. Now I'm going to reduce 30% from the X per square foot. And again, you plan the cost, and then maybe give margin a bit and see whatever. So it's not because that we can magically bring down the cost. Is that I think repositioning? I'm just guessing. Example.
Yeah. What about in the case of IOI Properties? Are you repositioning yourself in terms of pricing? Is your margin being squeezed?
Well, definitely margin is being squeezed because we are trying to meet the market demand, right? But at the same time, not so much as to not making money, not making profit. But luckily, our projects, mostly township, we have the flexibility because in the township you have a different range of products that you can launch at different time and for different market. So we can actually focus on those which is still in demand, then focus on that and still bring back enough sales revenue.
I see.
The advantage of township development.
So I'm trying to follow you a bit better here, Dato. So what you are saying would be, for a big player, you are actually better cushioned in the sense that you have the flexibility of refocusing, to sing in line, with market demand. Is that what we're saying here?
Yeah, in a way, yes. Yeah, because in your basket, you have many things to sell. So at different time, certain products selling better, right? So that you have that product offer to the market. If you're a single project developer in one location, if your project is not moving, then there's not a lot of things you can do.
Right. Talking about that, I thought that this was actually very interesting because in August, I think, IOI Properties reported its fourth quarter 2020 earnings. And, what I've given to understand is, if not for the fact that you actually wrote down in value your inventories, the quarter's revenue actually was better than the previous corresponding quarter in 2019. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, because we have investment properties where because it's affected by in terms of the rent, in terms of occupancy. So there's some write down. It's what you call impairment of the asset. Yeah.
So
it's not really a cash flow. Sorry.
Yeah. So in other words, if we were to ignore that, actually in terms of your performance, your sales and revenue, you did very well.
Yeah, actually we did better in the fourth quarter.
You did better.
Yeah.
How? I mean, everybody is screaming murder out there.
Yeah, again, this is in terms of again size in terms of geographical location. Cover in terms of footprint. So certain projects do better at certain time. Then to cover the shortfall for project that not doing so well.
Right.
So
right.
average out, you have a chance to still do all right.
Right. So in fact, one of the questions that actually came in was, asking whether or not you're going to be in Melbourne. I don't know whether the question came from Melbourne, because this person said, we have SP Certain here, we have everybody here, but, I thought you're not here. So are you coming to Melbourne? Quote and unquote that
all right. Give us time. Not now. Give us time.
Yeah. So right now you're in China, outside of Malaysia, where would be your biggest overseas market right now in terms of your development?
At the moment, I don't know how to measure the biggest, but because they're different projects. In Xiamen, we have mixed development. Residential, commercial will be hotel, mall, and office. In Singapore, at the moment, the current project we have an office tower, but one office tower, but huge, big investment there.
Yeah, because you do have a very big basket, right? Other comprising shopping malls. In fact, you just did your topping up, right? For your
IOI City Mall.
Yeah. So that's very interesting. And there was also another question that came in asking whether or not you have any intention to REIT some of your investments.
Well, yes, I think we've been thinking about this. So it's finding the right time, right way of doing it.
Yeah. Is this the right time?
Probably yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we are still talking. We are working on it.
Yeah. Retail, commercial. Mixed bag?
Yes. Other than what we have committed, we will not be committed further in terms of details, office and hotel. Yeah. So the existing one under construction, like I said, Singapore is the office under construction. Schedule completion sometime middle of 2023.
Yeah.
Then in China, we have a shopping mall that scheduled to complete by end of next year. Yeah, and also a hotel another year later. Yeah.
Yeah. Dato, in view of this pandemic issues that we're all facing now, do you still believe in hotels and shopping malls?
Well, shopping mall, yes. I think in Malaysia, I think it's still relevant. It's just that you have to evolve. The traditional shopping mall where you do serious shopping, I think is not relevant anymore. It's more like a family destination, even the friends hanging out. So you will see the mall evolving to provide more of these activities in terms of F&B, entertainment, edutainment, you know. So it has to evolve, and I think it's still relevant, especially in Malaysia because of weather. It's just not doesn't encourage you to go out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You know, again, talking about malls and commercial areas and retail and hotels, Dato', in view again, of what we are seeing, during this COVID-19 pandemic period, do you see a need, for all these buildings to be designed in a way that's a little bit, more acceptable to the public?
So you are saying hotels
Because of
or
the
the
pandemic, yes.
you are
Even
talking about
hotels and malls as well, and even office space. Do you see a need for change in, the architecture, the design, the layout, and the makeup of these spaces?
oh yeah, I think going forward you have to take into consideration in terms of um, mitigating the spread of the disease, especially this contagious disease. But to me, is that this is quite temporary. I think human, when you look at human history, gone through many calamities. Uh, so if you look back, this could be only a blip. We will not be like changing your behavior forever. Yeah, maybe just temporarily. I think human ingenuity will overcome that very short time.
Right, right. Dato, just take a step back, right? How does it feel to be in the driver's seat? Because compared to what you've been doing before, right? I'm sure you were doing a lot, you were contributing a lot, you were the backbone, but now you are being put in front. How does it feel? Is it anything that you've imagined it to be?
Well, how does it feel? I mean, naturally, I think it's a bit heavier responsibility. Yeah, if you will. Of course, like you say, you will be put in the forefront. I mean, you'll be like the face of the company. Uh, so, so, so like now I'm engaging with you. At the same time, you must keep track and keep track of the house of the people. So you have to be engaging with the people as well. So in that sense, bigger responsibility, um, the bigger demand on that job.
So are you sleeping well?
Hey, not bad, not bad. In fact, I sleep quite well. I still can sleep through the night without waking up. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's good. There have been actually quite a number of this similar question. So I thought I should pose it to you. Because there's such right now there's this thing about the merger on, Sunrise and Echo World. So the question is, do you see IOI Properties going down that route, doing a
Well,
merger?
Yeah, I don't see for IOI, I don't see that's happening any near the horizon, anything I can see, but you never know. But to me, I don't see anything happening anywhere.
Mm. So now, with the benefit of the hindsight of the last 6 months, because you've been with your II Properties Group for the last 6 months now, should you have striped out earlier?
No. I don't know why you asked that question, but for me, honestly, it was not planned. It just like I said, when it happened, and and I find it, yes, um, I think you contribute, and then it's not something that I planned. It happened. It happened.
Mm. Mm.
So
But
it's
after
not.
having said,
Mm,
yeah, sorry, you first.
yeah. So it's not matter of timing, because not time.
Mm. Okay, but after having said that, I'm sure there must have had been offers before. Anyway, uh, Dato', how do you deal with stress?
All right. During stress, mm, well, of course. I think for me personally, I how I deal with stress is to exercise, to clear your mind, and always resolve issues. You get stressed only the unresolved issues, then you get stressed. Uh, so while you're being stressed, I think exercise personally, I would recommend anybody just simple go for 1 hour walk, make a lot of difference.
Every
And
day?
every day, whenever you can. Every day is better. If not, at least whenever you can. For example, like after lunch, you go and go for 10, 15 minutes.
Uh, so do you practice what you preach? Do you do that?
Yes, I do. I do. Sometimes even like after dinner, I go for a walk. After dinner, maybe rest for half an hour. I walk from 9 to 10:30, and then I sleep through the night.
Wow. Okay.
You get so
So
tired.
yeah. So what is your favorite pastime? Would exercise be that?
Yeah, exercise naturally would be one. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Uh, there's actually this question, quite naughty, but I thought quite cute as well. You don't have to answer. It's okay, but I'll just post it anyway. This person wanted to know whether you're wearing a wig.
I have to, I have to poof that.
Yeah. I guess what that person, I'm trying to understand, the person is, he's paying, I don't know whether he's a she or he, lah. The person's paying you a compliment. Lah. That's what
Oh,
it
thank you,
means.
thank you.
Yeah. So, I don't expect
Go
an
ahead.
answer from you. Yeah. Can you tell us there are also people who wanted to know a little bit more about you. Maybe you share with us, what is your favorite food?
Wow, favorite food. Yeah, I enjoy tasty food, but I will try to have less of the not so healthy food. But basically, I enjoy all kind of food. Yeah,
Mm,
healthy, unhealthy food, but just have less of the unhealthy ones.
yeah. And your favorite destination? I mean, well, we can't fly off anywhere now, but if we can, where is your favorite destination?
So I think it will be London. Yeah.
London. Why London, Dato?
Well, London, I think one is that there's a variety of food, the culture, museums,
Mm,
uh, all the parks. You can walk all day. Um, well, not to mention shopping, but I'm not really a shopper, but easy, convenient, and also familiarity, language.
yeah.
Mm.
Of course, there's this question asking Dato whether it is a good time to buy properties now, and if so, what kind of properties?
If you ask me, uh, definitely it's a good time to buy, right? Because time in terms of perks you enjoy, stamp duty waiver, and all that sort. And not to mention the low interest rate. You can get big discounts. Yeah. So if now is not the time, I don't know when is.
Right, yeah. And what would you buy personally? Not as a CEO of IOI Properties, huh?
I've not thought of that. I've been selling for the past few years, but what would I buy? I would buy property as an investor, in a good location, because now is the time you can get a good price. Um, you know, so when the market comes back, this will be potential of acquisition will be the most. Yeah. So with managed, if it's condo, make sure it's from a reputable developer, well managed, well designed, well constructed. The value is there.
Right. Okay, there's also one question thought is quite interesting. Because Malaysia just rolled out our COVID bill, right? Yeah. And there's a little something for the property sector in that bill. So this question is, what do you think about, all those incentives and, all those initiatives have been proposed under the bill for the property sector? Do you think they're enough, Dato'?
Well, I think I must excuse myself because I have not read it. It came out yesterday. I have not read it.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I mean that's very frank of you. Thank you very much. The time is getting on. It's past 1 hour. Maybe just the last two questions, Dato'. Do you have any biggest regret at all? I mean, I'm talking about corporate. I'm talking about the business side of things. Is there anything that you wish you could have done, or you wish you didn't do, or none? I'm not sure.
Yeah, believe me, none. No regrets. None. Yeah. We
no regrets.
Yes.
Okay, promise you this is the last question. Your hope for Malaysia?
My hope for Malaysia. I mean, we put it simple way. I hope we run the nation like we run the business corporation, right? So we make clear on what we set objective, we set a goal, we get the best people to execute it, and run it around.
Yep. So any like advice for property buyers out there?
Yeah, don't take too long. You choose your properties. Yeah. So all the incentive will not last forever. Yeah. So this is the best opportunity. Don't miss the window of opportunities.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Anything else you'd like to add, Dato', before we conclude the session tonight? Anything else to add?
What's the add? I didn't prepare for this.
Yeah.
Okay. I am happy. That we have this conversation.
Thank you.
I hope I have added some value to people who spend time with us.
Yes, thank you, Dato'. Thank you. It's our honor, to have this session with you, because
it's my honor.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't believe me when I told them, hey, Dato' Woon is coming on. So it's quite a coup for HProp Malaysia. Thank you very much. And to our audience,
thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thank you. To our audience, thank you very much for spending your last 1 hour with us. This is Feng Yi. And before I sign off, just let you know that snippets of tonight's discussion will be posted on our website, www.hprop.my tonight. And the full report of tonight's conversation will be made available in our e-publication that is out every Friday, every week. So catch that. And just one more thing, this is the debut of CEO Talks. Watch out for our next CEO who will be coming on. Yeah, check out hprop.my. We will actually post a notification out there. And with that, thank you very much again, and stay safe, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Lato.
Thank you.